Let's see if anybody joins this since I'm popping on real fast. Can everybody hear me? Hi, Miss Renee. Oh my gosh. Miss Renee is so amazing. The very first person that ever read my tarot cards when I first moved to Portland, and I would go to her for guidance, and it was always so amazing. And I always think about you and how psychic and blunt you were in your information, because it was really important for me to hear things without such a convoluted, gunked up filter. So if you don't know Miss Renee, you should check her out. She's awesome. So I just wanted to come on today as I'm chilling in the park and talk a little bit about the transit for today, the Saturn Uranus moon T-square, and kind of see and check in how people were feeling, because I'm feeling really lit today. I'm feeling this transit is really lit, and I just kind of wanted to talk about the planets themselves and working with the moon, Saturn, and Uranus. And this is the Saturn Uranus's second pass. So I just feel like, you know, Saturn is so much structures, so many structures, and that the structures and the gridding systems in which we operate have to be updated. The structures, the grids, the ley lines, the consciousness, the neural pathways, every channel in which energy, frequency, and vibration flow must be updated. Our boundaries are not fixed. We are fluid beings. So if we do not go through these mandatory updates, if we don't update the motherboard, then we're going to become stuck. We are going to become stagnant. We are going to not move. We will get inflammation. We will have blocks. We will get pain. So it's important for us to stay liquid. It's important for us to be like water and be able to change shapes. We make this morphogenic form around us, and it needs to be able to have movement. What you needed 5 years ago, what your boundaries were 5 years ago, aren't the same as they are now, and they won't be the same as they are in 5 years. And so it's important to let these upgrades happen. And I really see that Saturn, we need it. We need form. We need structure. If we didn't have skin, all of our blood would just ooze out. We would just be a pile of like blood and bones. I mean, well, we have muscles. There are other things holding our structure up, but we need the skin. The skin also, it's the largest organ in the body, and it's what protects us. It's part of our immune system. It's our barrier to the outside world. The skin and then the lungs, both which make up our boundaries, both which make up our immune system, both which make up our defensive chi or wei chi in Chinese medicine. And so every time we connect to our breath and to our lungs and really allow the grief and sorrow to be released, we can expand and have room for that next breath of fresh air. And when we're breathing physically is one thing. When we're breathing cosmically, that's another thing. You know, it's like we need to tap into that cosmic breath, because we are here, right here on planet Earth. I think that's where I'm tuning in from. Sometimes I don't know. Right here on Earth, but we have so many subtle bodies that stretch out to the stars. Like, I am here and I am in the Pleiades. I am here and I am in another universe with my avian family. It's all happening in the right here and right now. So that structure of Saturn is really wanting to upgrade with Uranus. Uranus is that like rebel consciousness. Uranus is the revolutionary, the queer, the freaky weirdo that's like, I ain't doing it that way. I'm spinning on my side. You're not going to know about my orbit. I'm confusing, you know? And Uranus is always going to do things in a really unique way. I see Uranus as like the path of the magician, the self-initiation, almost, I would say, the Jesus that was like, I'm a witch, that path. So really knowing that it's beautiful when these two planets come together, because we need to update our systems. We need to update the gridding. We need the star consciousness. We need the like rebel consciousness. Uranus is going to come like fuck it up because it needs to be fucked up. And so the grids that we have here on Earth, you know, like, who has made them and who do they serve? You know, who made the structures and who does the structure serve? Is it serving the whole? Are we all like thriving and living our best lives, or are we struggling? Like, are we able to do whatever we want, like fearlessly and courageously, or are we silenced? Are we oppressed? Like, are we like having to maneuver and figure out loopholes in order to just like be ourselves? So it's really important. As my partner right now is healing from top surgery, you know, I am just like, why are people literally being murdered for being trans? Like, what the fuck? So the structures need to shift. The gridding needs to shift. And so it doesn't just shift because the powers that be are like, oh, we'll change it for you now. Sorry that we've like made your life really challenging. We shift it. We open up, and how it opens up and how it shifts is by higher states of consciousness, higher dimensions. If you've ever looked at any dimensions, if you've looked at a 3-dimensional shape versus a 4-dimensional shape, 5-dimensional shape, 6-dimensional shape, what happens when there is more dimension is that there's more movement. Maybe before you couldn't walk through the wall, but now you can. So, I mean, you can try to walk through the wall, but, you know, now you can. And it's important to give more movements and new pathways so that we can do more stuff, like so that we can do more of our soul work. We've never just had like choice as a bug. I'm outside. Choice A or choice B. We've never just been like red or blue or this or that or boy or girl or blah or blah. Like when you're going back and forth, that's a trauma response. Back between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, back and forth, fight or flight and relax, fight or flight and relax. Like, we have to come deeply into center. We have to deeply relax so that we cannot be so constricted, so that we can open up to like higher states of consciousness, the love vibration, more light, like whatever, the God source energy. We can't stay so dense. We have to release the dense energy. If we stay this dense, we're going to sink to the bottom of the swamp. And so, not that the swamp is awesome. The swamp has the primal brain. The swamp has the alligators. The swamp has the crocodiles. You know, the swamp has the guck and the gunk and the shit at the bottom that's really going to nourish, composting soil, like grow the roots strong. Like, it's really going to give you that decomposed shit. I don't know if anybody takes humic and fulvic acid, but it's like the decayed plant matter. That has got minerals. You need that. You need those minerals from that decomposing, like old, ancient, primordial, like potion. And so when you're able to go into those depths and like shift those deepest parts of you, that was what the last eclipse was. The last eclipse in the Taurus constellation. I'm talking constellations. I'm not talking signs. I'm just talking stars. And so the Taurus constellation is all about communing with the Minotaur, Asterion, the body of a person, the head of a bull, really remembering that primal brain, becoming conscious of that animal, primal, reptilian brain, and allowing it to integrate and decomposing the parts that you don't need. So that primal brain isn't like controlling you. You know, when fear controls you, that primal brain is like, oh, I'm driving the ship now. And the primal brain doesn't get to drive. And it's not because the primal brain is bad. The primal brain, located on your brainstem, it was there so we could survive. Like, our ancient ancestors were like running from saber-toothed tigers, and so they had to run. They need that primal brain to say, get the hell up out of here so you don't die. And so now that's not really happening to us. And you know, the ones of us who are privileged enough to relax, not everybody gets to do that because of having to just survive. Like, if you've ever been like in a survival mode, that was my whole childhood, was survival mode, because I really felt like I might die at any moment. So it's important to upgrade that deep structure in the brain and that primal brain really wants to upgrade. And when you upgrade the bottom of the swamps, when you upgrade the ancient, when you upgrade the reptilian brain, when you upgrade your reptilian brain, you upgrade like, you know, you've hit the bottom, you've hit the primordial, and so it's going to radiate out. Just like when you work from the celestial realms, it's going to trickle back down right here to the physical. DNA is starseed. DNA out to the stars. The stars have been seeded here on Earth, and we humans, human hybrid star beings, star seeds, us humans are the like staff of Caduceus, the spine, the golden spine that allows to be the conduit from like stars to earth and earth to stars. So we are here gridding the earth. And so we're making this new grid. We're making this new Saturnian grid. And so we need Uranus to like give us these upgrades. We need Uranus to be like, no. Do not do it like you did before. Do not do it the way before. Do something new. Stop going back to that same old tired response. Stop going back to that old story. Stop thinking this is the only way. Stop holding on to things. Stop being so conditional. Stop trying to figure everything out. Like, let yourself really just be in the expanse. Be the weirdo. Like, we are here to do so many things, and it's not just here, it's everywhere. Like, we will go beyond. So you're not running out of time. Time's not even real. You were just here in the now. And the more you can pull that energy into your center, the more you can really pull it into your center and be at the driver's seat of your avatar, the more you will be able to do, because you will actually perceive yourself as having more time, because you are not going to be wasting so much time worrying about this, worrying about that, thinking about that. What if I did this? What about this? Which only pulls all of your energy out of your center. In Chinese medicine, it's called liver qi stagnation. You're not on the seat of your throne. Your emperor, your heart, is going to be disturbed because of your liver qi stagnation. So it's so important to just pull your energy into your center. I think the best way to do this is to focus on a point every day. I think like a drishti. In yoga, they call it a drishti point. Focus on a point every day. You could focus on the tip of a really sharp pencil, or you can focus on a like fleck on the wall, but see if you can pull all of your energy into this one point. You do that every day. It's exercising your clairvoyant, like conscious muscles, organs, senses, energy. And then you'll really be able to do something when you do move forward physically, because all you and all your guides will be there. Every cell in your body is your coven. You are the high priestess, like priest. Like, you are here to really be the magician of your life's ritual. And so, you know, with this moon too making the T-square, the moon is only going to mitigate all of the energies coming in. I kind of see the moon. There's a screaming child. My panties are like hanging out, probably flashing everybody. I don't know how to sit in a skirt without my junk hanging out. So the moon is this filter. I see it as like a satellite. You know, the moon doesn't make its own light, and so the moon is kind of like the filter for everything else. It's going to reflect, it's going to absorb, and I see the moon being this filter to allow planetary and cosmic and stellar energies to come through to Earth, and so our senses can absorb them, so our body can understand it. I think that if we stood right in front of starfire, we would disintegrate, you know, and so it's important to not completely fry our nervous systems. If you've ever been like psychically fried, or if you've gone into a witch camp or something and afterwards you're just like, fuck, like my psychic center has been blown out, you know, it's important to not do that all the time. I think every once in a while maybe it's fun, but like to not do that all the time. And so the moon is evolving with us. Like, the consciousness of the moon is evolving with us, because the moon is like filtering these energies so that we can perceive them and that our physical bodies can be safe. Like, our physical bodies are also shifting and changing. Every, I think, 1 second, a million cells die and a million cells are reborn. So we're always like rejuvenating. We are always dying and being reborn. Like, we're always changing. We're in a state of constant change. Like, we're breathing, we're inhaling, we're exhaling, we're like eating, we're going to the bathroom. The cells are dying, the cells are being reborn. Like, we're never stopping. So we're like in a constant state of change. And I think when you can really sink into that constant state of change and like find stillness in the like, nothing is fixed, everything is shifting, everything is flux, there can be some peace and ease. So I really think that this transit today on top of the eclipse that was just like holy fucking cowabunga, is a really cool day to tap into, I can talk, tap into these higher frequencies of consciousness, like other star beings, your highest self, like God consciousness, like the trees, like the asteroids, whatever, the crystals, the grids. Like, it's a good time to kind of like not worry so much about like your human life and really step into your star self, like you as a star being, you as star seed, really waking up that star seed energy that's inside of your DNA. Like, your DNA is the ancient information. They're like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Your DNA is like the Dead Sea Scrolls, and your RNA is like the old scribe down in the study, like trying to translate these like ancient sea scrolls from our ancient great ancestors that even go beyond Earth, you know? And so that RNA is like, oh, what does that symbol mean? What does that mean? I'm trying to figure it out. When they figure it out, it's like we unlock a new code, and then the DNA, RNA, and then to proteins, and the proteins are the building block of your whole body. And so we can literally like become whatever we want. I do think that it's possible that like we could return to like an animal human hybrid, or we could look totally different. Like, we're not always going to stay the same. So it's important to sink into the flux. And if you don't do any kind of workings with the planets or the stars, I think that it's so mandatory for our survival and our evolution to work with the sky, to work with the planets, to work with the stars, to work with the beings. And the best way I would say to do that with the planets is listen to the NASA sound recordings and just meditate, because it's like beyond verbal. You're tapping into the sound frequency, and on some level we all speak sound. And so you could do that, and then also with the constellations, looking up at the sky, seeing if you connect to a star, and then finding out what that star is, and finding out where that star is, and finding out what constellation that star is in, and really connecting to that star energy, making an altar to that star, like finding out more information. You could learn about one star for like lifetimes. So there are many practices you can do that are quite simple that will bring you into a more balanced and harmonious alignment with your own soul. And I think that today is a cool day, and I hope everybody is having a great ending of the eclipse time and a cool Saturn Uranus moon T-square, and blessings to everybody. And everybody deserves to be whatever they want to be and live whatever kind of life you want to live, and everyone deserves peace, and everyone deserves ease, and everyone deserves love and food and shelter and kindness. And if we could all start doing that, like, the world could really shift quickly. So, you know, remember that we're all going through something, and even if someone's outside tells you a different story, like, everybody is going through something. And I think that we need to have a little bit more compassion, boundaries, and compassion. Have boundaries, don't take no shit, don't be a doormat, but also have like compassion, and know that, like, you know, me, you, us, we're far from like figuring it all out, and there is no figuring it out, and nobody has all the answers. And that's why you have to step into your self-authority, because like nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Even people that are like in the lab coats, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, because like we are still coming out of the dark ages. Like, we are still coming out of like Kali Yuga. Like, we are still coming out of the dark age. We are in between a Pisces and Aquarius age. We're in like the age of Pegasus. Pegasus stretches over Pisces and Aquarius, and like there is no, I don't see it as one hard end. It's like one is fading. It's like yin and yang. Like, one fades as one, like one waxes as one wanes. And so that Pegasus is like overarching between Pisces and Aquarius, and Pegasus is the child of Medusa. And if I have been devout to one being, in my life, it's definitely been Medusa. I have worked with her every single day for 8 years, and look, like, man, she fucked me up in the best way. And now that, like, I'm kind of stepping away from her deep teachings, I just feel like there's so much to know, and it's really taken me to the stars. And Pegasus is like sprung from Medusa's forehead, sprung from the serpent mystery forehead. So I really see this as like Pegasus as like this third eye projection of the serpent mysteries. So we're in a cool bridge. We're in a cool bridge between Pisces and Aquarius, and it's a long bridge. You know, time, we don't understand time. Like some people, some beings, like time is so different to them depending on where they are. So, you know, a whole lifetime to us can seem like a day to something else. So, you know, remember that there are many times happening all at once, and it's really important to care as much as you can for yourself, and really try your best, you know, to not as be so reactive, and maybe I mean, I think triggers are important. Triggers help us grow. If we were never triggered, we would never be uncomfortable, and we would just become like a fucking sack of potatoes and never change and like turn into a rock or something. So I don't personally want to do that. I feel like this is as dense as I can handle before I like have to just like fly away into the other worlds. And so, you know, if you feel like a fairy, if you feel like an alien, I mean, that word, I mean, we're all aliens. If you feel like you're from some other place and you've lived somewhere, some other places, like really do that star magic, like tap into the stars, tap into the planets, like talk to them. They will talk back. Like, we are not the only consciousness here in the whole entire gigantic universe. So maybe that's my rant for now. Maybe that's my rant. Maybe I'm gonna close it there. So I hope everybody is chilling and awesome. Tap into the magic today, and happy end of eclipse, and happy life, and blessings to everyone. Bye. Oh shit.